Alright everyone, here's just a quick video of something I made for my worm bin so that we're not throwing out our trash and spending money on like fertilizer and stuff for our garden during the summer. The worms make worm poop. So I have the 3-bin system where right now this bin is empty. This bin catches any drainage. Drain it out with that little spigot right there. You can do whatever you want, you know. This one's empty. Eventually what will happen is the worms will process everything that I give them in here, turn it all into poop or close to, and then I'll reverse where these two are right now. I'll just reverse their position and fill this with new bedding and food and stuff to entice them to travel up through the holes that I've drilled for drainage and for them to travel back and forth. It's like a DIY worm mansion. These things are pretty expensive online, and each one of these totes, they're like the nice totes at Home Depot. They're like 10 or 11 bucks each, not on sale. So when you reverse it, you start feeding them in what will then be the top one. They migrate out of the one that's in the middle because they don't want to live in their poop. And then after so long, when you feel comfortable that they've all gotten out of there and all the eggs that they've laid have hatched and those have migrated out of there, then you just take the top one off, remove the second one, harvest everything, clean out the bin, and then just put it right back in the middle while the worms work on everything that's then again in the top, and then you just keep repeating the process over and over and over again. I suppose you could put another one in there if you wanted to, maybe, and that, I don't know, whatever. But so we'll see how this works. I've looked at a lot of systems, and the one that I like the best is like 200 bucks. And this is maybe 50, even with all this stuff. I forget. I had all this stuff laying around, so it's just what I made. If I had it to make over again, I'd probably make it with 1 inch. So maybe call it $70 total and these are big totes. These are 27-gallon totes. Most people use like 15 or 10-gallon totes, but we have a lot of like compostable waste that we go through. So I want this one, and then when the worms duplicate, they're going to get transferred into another one, and I'm just going to keep building them until we aren't throwing away any of our compostable stuff. I'll just give you a quick view of it. This is just very simple. I didn't eyeball it, but I made sure everything fit as I was going along. Like I said, I just used what I had. So right here, I had to use this little union because I ran out of a full length that I needed, and I didn't want to run to the store just to get that. So just a rectangle. I may put some T's here and here and brace across on both sides. We'll see. I may just do it across this side as well. But then in here, while we're looking, show you how it goes. They don't like the light, so since I just kind of disturbed them yesterday, moving them around into this new contraption, I'm keeping the lights on them so that they don't crawl up. But as you can see, the sides are nice and clean, so they haven't been crawling, or there would be poop and stuff. So here's what I do. I just shred cardboard and paper, nothing glossy, and I throw it on top to keep the mites away, and they eat this too anyways. And then I throw the food under them, with a little bit of cocoa coir and peat moss. I hear some people say peat moss, some people say cocoa coir, so I just mixed it. And I thought that was the best to start with anyways. And the worms seem to love it. Either that or the food that I'm giving them. You know, look at them. They're everywhere. It's harder to see on here, and they like to scatter quick. They don't like the light. But yeah, they eat the food that I give them, including the oyster shell powder there. I throw some green sand in there, literally just a little bit every now and then. It gives them grit for they have a gizzard. It gives them grit to process, and the oyster shells gives them calcium, which stimulates or helps stimulate their reproductive process. So that's that. I made this really janky thing so that it can breathe a little bit better. I don't really want to collect leachate because I'm not of the subscription that it's any good for you, your garden. I freeze their food. I blend it and then I freeze it because it helps them to digest it quicker. I do the same with corn. If there happens to be like a leftover corn that you didn't put butter on, or I mean salt and pepper probably doesn't matter, but butter isn't really good for them. I freeze that too, and I don't grind that. I just give it right to them, and they eat that stuff quick. And then here is the homemade worm food where I just grind up stuff. Next time I think I'm just gonna grind up. It's that wheat flour, cornmeal, and oats. Next time I think I'm just gonna grind up whatever bird feed I can get on sale because the ingredients are super similar, and there's a little bit more. They get a variety of nutrients, and I think it's a little bit cheaper, especially if you can find it on sale. So, all right, happy worming.